I mean, I knew he was going to rape me, but I didn't know if I was going to survive it.
It was a July 1984 night. 22-year-old Jennifer Thompson was sound asleep. Suddenly jolted awake, she felt a cold, steel blade pressed against her throat. That night, an intruder raped Jennifer in this house, but she was determined not to forget her attacker.
I would look for anything that could be an identifier, like a scar or a tattoo or a piercing or something. And the other thing I decided was, if I live, I will see you rot in hell for what you're doing to me.
The police drew a composite sketch from what she remembered. A tip led them to Ronald Cotton.
I picked out Ronald Cotton in the photographic lineup, and the police looked at me and said, "Good job. That's who we thought it was."
A few days later, she picked Cotton again in the physical lineup.
How sure were you?
Positive. Yeah, positive.
Thompson testified and a judge sentenced Cotton to life in prison. But there was just one problem. It was the wrong man.
Jennifer got it wrong. I mean, the witness got it wrong. I mean, that happens sometimes.
Richard Rosen worked to prove Cotton's innocence. He said a witness getting it wrong is pretty common in the criminal justice system.
People make mistakes. There's this popular theory that eyewitness identification is like a snapshot. We know now from the science that memory does not act that way.
Studies show memory is inaccurate. The witness is already under a great deal of stress, and it increases significantly when you add a weapon. Even factors like lighting can change a suspect's appearance. In the end, DNA testing proved the real rapist was a man named Bobby Poole. Cotton was cleared.
You are walking out here today as a free man.
But not before losing 11 years of his life in prison.
On many levels, it was worse than my actual assault. Because my assault, I knew, was not my fault. But when the information came that I had made this mistake, that we had made this mistake, I couldn't disconnect that.
I reached out to Ronald, and although he was unwilling to speak on camera, he released this statement. You have to be slow and sure before you make your final decision on anyone due to the fact that it's someone's life you're dealing with. Perhaps what is most fascinating is he and Jennifer are good friends. I asked Jennifer how it was possible.
We knew that we had been victims. The system had failed us. Bobby Poole was a horrible human being, and Ronald knew in his heart that I had never intentionally, with malice, tried to hurt him.
Today, the pair travels across the country sharing the lessons they've learned. They speak about judicial reform, eyewitness identification, and most importantly, finding forgiveness. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jaclyn Lee reporting.